I'm going crazy.
Sunday 10 p.m. It's been almost a week since we are moved in together, and I guess the only week for the next few months as his tour is approaching quickly, thought Wine. Wine dreaded the next Tuesday because that will be their last day together in the same house. She still tries to put on her best smile because these moments with him are too precious. She changes into her favorite pajamas and gets in the bed. He is there already, with a book in his hand. As she gets in, he ruffles her hair lightly. Wine, is it fine if we get up a little early tomorrow? I want to take you somewhere special. Wine looks at him with confusion. There isn't a single thing in this world that Wine wouldn't do for Namjoon. But getting up early, that too on a Sunday? Guess she'll do that too because he is her entire world. Of course. Where are we going? Wine replies. That will ruin the surprise, baby. But make sure you put on some warm clothes. He replies, smiling his dimpled smile. Wine nods and smiles at him. She makes her way into his arms, placing her head on his chest. Namjoon hugs her from one arm and balances his book from another. Let me just finish this chapter and then we can sleep, okay? Sure, good night, Wine mumbles. She had a long day at work and it was visible. He get back to his book. 15 minutes later, he folds the corner of the page he is on and set it aside. Wine is snoring softly. He switches off the bedside moon lamp and adjusts himself on the pillow. Stroking her hair gently, he smiles to himself. I wish my old days ended like this, with the love of my life in my arms, he thinks to himself. One single tear escapes his eyes and rolls down his cheek. He stops it midway, wiping it by the back of his hand as it would have ended up on Wine's face. Humming softly, he lets sleep take over him. The next day, author point of view. Wine wakes up at the aroma of pancakes and coffee. She squints her leg to check the time on the beside alarm clock. 4:30 a.m.? Why is he cooking the breakfast at this time? That too all by himself? I hope he doesn't get hurt. She thinks to herself. Suddenly it hits her. The surprise outing. She gets up, stretches her arm and slips into her Koya slippers. Wine enters the kitchen and says, Julie, it was my turn to make the breakfast today, remember? Plus, you are not allowed to near sharp objects. You are a magnet for accidents. He chuckles, throwing a berry towards Wine. I am not using any sharp knives or the gas cooktop. I am allowed to use pancake mix and induction, right? Now go and take the warm shower. We have to leave in half an hour. She rolls her eyes and walks toward their room. As she opens the wardrobe, something catches her eyes. A complete outfit of a pastel pink turtleneck, a dark blue coat and a pair of warm leggings with a black cashmere scarf was laid out on a table next to the wardrobe, including a pair of black boots. She takes the outfit and walks into the bathroom, smiling to herself. He is just too precious. At the dining table, Namjoon sets out the breakfast on the table. He was pouring the second glass of orange juice when Wine enters the room. I'm glad you liked what I picked for you, he says. You have a really good style, June. I love it. Taking the first bite of pancakes, she chuckles. This is way better than ones you made the last time. You are getting there, Namjoon. He smiles triumphantly and says, Thank you, Wine. You have taught me well. After the breakfast, Wine cleared out the table while Namjoon changed into warm clothes. Their house was just 10-minute walk from a park in the area. It was one of the biggest parks in the city. The main attraction of this place was the Sunrise Point. A flight of steps led to the point, which was situated in the heart of this park. Wine was aware about Namjoon's addiction to the nature, and she was a fan of butterflies and flowers herself, So when they come across this beautiful place for the first time, they decided to buy a house near it. Namjoon comes out of the room carrying a side bag, dressed in white turtleneck, a beige sweater and a brown overcoat. Wine spots an olive umbrella in his hand. It was still dark out and the grey clouds covered the sky. They noticed that it was drizzling lightly. While stepping out of the house, Wine says, "You and I both know that I have guessed your surprise. We are going to the park, aren't we?" "That's a part of the surprise." "Yes," he replies calmly. "Promise me you won't ask any question about the surprise. It ruins the fun." He adds, "Okay, I won't," she says with an annoyed pout. Wine hates it when she is not in control of the situation. Suddenly he brings her face close to his lips and kiss on her cheek. This makes Wine blush. "Shall we?" he says, sliding his right hand into her left. Their fingers intertwine perfectly. "Such a gentleman," she replies shyly. On their way to the park, they chatted about Namjoon's tour and the duration of the tour. It made them a little sad, but they knew that they will be fine. Namjoon talked animatedly about the stages and the setups, and Wine listened to him carefully. She loved how passionate he was about his work. Later, Wine told him that she is really happy with her work too. She was a makeup artist for a renowned modeling agency. She has also worked for his company in the past, but that was before this lovebirds became a thing. 5 minutes later, they reach at the entrance of the park. The slight dazzles turned into bigger droplets. It was still dark, but the birds had started chirping, signaling the quick approaching sunrise. The air carried the smell of the fresh soil and flowers with it. Namjoon opened his umbrella, and as he didn't like his clothes getting wet. Wine notices that Namjoon is staring at Magpie sitting on a branch. She quickly takes out her phone and clicks a picture of him. "Wine, come under the umbrella. The rain is going to come down heavily," Namjoon calls out. Quickly she walks towards him and gets under the umbrella. Finally they entered the park, together under the same umbrella. "Namjoon, where are you going? This park is huge and I'm not a fan of walking, you know that." "Wine, we're almost there. You don't want to miss this for sure," he replies enthusiastically, walking along a cobbled path that leads to the sunrise point. "Okay, if you say so," she says. The sky has started changing its color and the grey clouds were making way of the rosy pink colored ones. The raindrops finally stopped and the first rays of sun made their way to the horizon. Namjoon held his out of his hand, and when they started climb up the steps carefully, the sunrise point was like a balcony. Few stone benches were placed facing east. 5 minutes later, they reached the point. Orange and yellow sun rays were peeping through the mountain ranges. Visible from this point, the sky changed into a glowing pink shade. "Wine, this is the next part of the sunrise," Namjoon says, while looking at Wine. She is in awe of the beauty of the nature in front of her. She tears her eyes away from the sky to look at him. "This is the most glorious sunrise I have ever seen. Thank you, baby. I couldn't have asked for a better morning," she says, while wrapping her arm around his wrist. He responds by placing his arm around her shoulder. They walk toward one of the stone benches and sits next to each other. Namjoon scoots closer to Wine, takes her hand into his own, and says, "Wine, sunrises depicts the beginning of a brand new day. I brought you here for a simple reason. I wish my whole day starts with you. You are my sun and gloomy days. Your smile, like the rainbow after a storm, makes everything better. Your existence, like the roots to the tree, keeps me grounded while giving me the strength I need. When I have you by my side, I feel I can conquer every obstacle thrown towards me. I love you and I'll keep loving you for as long as I live." She didn't notice that the tear escaped her eyes and landed on Namjoon's hand. With his free hand, he pulls out a set of beautiful couple rings. The rings were identical, a band of platinum with one small diamond in the middle. The only difference was the smaller one was delicate. He frees his hand from hers gently, brings it to the face, and wipes her tears. Namjoon, you are the best thing that has happened to me. I wasn't looking for a relationship, but when I met you, something inside me changed. I don't know why and how, but I do know that I want to spend my all mornings and my nights with you. And the best part about us is how we have managed to stay by each other's side for the past 2 years. With all the ups and downs, Kim Namjoon, I haven't loved anyone as much as I love you, and I don't think I have ever will. Wine didn't show her emotions easily, but this whole situation made her vulnerable. She wanted Namjoon to know his worth in her life. With tears in his eyes, he slipped the smaller ring on Wine's fourth finger or left hand, brought it to his lips and placed a kiss on it. He landed on her other ones. She smiled warmly at him, took his hand into hers and slid the ring on the ring finger of his left hand. As if on cue, the sun emerged from the mountains gradually. The sky looked alluring with a mix of shades of orange, yellow, pink, purple and blue. They sat there silently for a long time, enjoying the nature and each other's company to the fullest. This day could easily be counted as one of the best days of their relationship, and watching a sunrise whenever they were together turned into a ritual that would last till eternity.